The day music died. Eddie Dennis' betrayal of Mark Andrews is one of Progress Wrestling's best long-term storylines. Dennis and Andrews are both Welsh wrestlers and best friends who debuted for Progress Wrestling in 2013. Both men were part of the inaugural Natural Progression series. Dennis would be eliminated in the semi-finals by Paul Robinson, and Mark Andrews would go on to win the tournament. Andrews would earn a championship match and would be able to reinstate one participant into next year's tournament. Mark Andrews would choose to reinstate Will Ospreay instead of his best friend Eddie Dennis. Despite this, the two would go on to form FSU and would be crowned the first ever Progress Wrestling Tag Team Champions. In 2015, Mark Andrews won British Boot Camp Season 2 and departed the UK to wrestle full-time in America for Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling. At Chapter 17, Mark Andrews wrestled and lost to Eddie Dennis in his farewell match. After the match, Dennis declared that he was perfectly fine being a weekend warrior and that he was happy for his friend. At the time, Dennis was a headmaster and was not wrestling full-time. Andrews would return before the year's end and FSU would pick up where they left off. Andrews would also see single success upon his return and would even make it to the finals of the 2016 Super Strong Style 16. In 2017, Mark Andrews signed with the WWE as part of their NXT UK initiative. That same year, Eddie Dennis would quit his headmaster job and dedicated himself full-time to wrestling. However, for Eddie Dennis, his singles career would begin to stagnate and his resentment towards Mark Andrews would begin to grow. This resentment would all boil over at Chapter 55 in Alexandra Palace. Both men wrestled in an 8-man scramble match with the winner getting a shot at the Progress Wrestling World Championship. Furthering his resentment, Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis would enter the ring as a team to Mark Andrews' music, and Eddie Dennis would be an afterthought before the match even started. The two would work together during the match, and in the closing moments, Andrews would tell Dennis to go for the win. However, less than 90 seconds later, Andrews would win the match himself. Enraged by his friend's selfishness, Dennis would attack Andrews and their friendship would come to an end. And that's why September 10th, 2017 will forever be remembered as